Yes, so we are now, I'm recording. Hi, Frouk. So
Hi,
good to see
Erika.
you again and to
So good
connect
to
with
see.
you
Yes, yes.
all
So
the
good to
way to
see you.
Eifel.
Yes, not so far away. Not so far away. Huh?
That's true. That's true. But
Yes.
we know each other from our trip to Siberia in 2018. That's how we met. We traveled with the Siberian shaman Aramkara to the sacred mountain of Belukha, and
Yes.
and it was such a pleasure for me, a honor to participate in the ceremony which you are doing with the golden sun. But you you're the best to share it and what this is all about.
Ah, yes. So the Golden Sun is a peace project that is traveling through the European countries, and it's traveling through to the continents to make a deep connection. And actually, it's standing on the shoulders of all our old traditions. And so it's not directly connected from one tradition, Christianity, or the old indigenous or Buddhism or whatever, but it's standing on the shoulders of all these old traditions, because this is an artwork that on the moment we will do this, we will make this with all the people, there it is. It's a golden sun that is made of wood and real gold. It's a big puzzle of 52 pieces. And during this ritual, this ceremony, this art experience, whatever you want to call it, whatever group we are in, uh, then the people put the puzzle pieces to one sculpture, to one, and in the meanwhile, they make this connection from their being, from their I am. They make very consciously the connection with their most inner self. And that is the I am. That is the I who is standing in the center of the being, the am, the being. And in this, everyone on this planet, everyone and everything on this planet is sacred.
Mm.
And just before we started to do this interview, you said like, yes, so many things in this time are coming up. It's the corona, it's the racism, and you called it the wounds, and it's so. It's coming up from deep of ourselves to be healed.
Yeah.
And it's it's not there to be rejected or to be punished or to be said, oh, you're not doing right. No, it's now to embrace it in all of us, because it's all of our pain. It's not just the pain of the black or it's the pain of human being. And
Yeah.
now it's the time to step by step to heal this pain. And this sculpture is is not a traditional a structure. It just appears. It just happens when we are doing the ceremony, when we are doing the ritual, or when we are doing the performance, however you want to call it. And there are just three ingredients, and that is there's a cloth with the puzzle pieces are embroidered on the cloth, and there are 52 puzzle pieces from wood covered with real gold, because
Mm.
every human being is sacred.
Yes.
And we are going up to the level of the heart, and that is the level of wholeness.
Mm.
And the most holy metal in this world is gold, connected to the sun.
Mm.
And if you see that we have, we went into these polarities of male, female, black, white, heaven, earth, hell, maybe even. But now we are coming in a time that these polarities comes back into one. And
Yes.
we need the I to do it. But the moment you're in it, then you're just in the now and you're just being. And in that being, there are no structures of hierarchy. There are
Mm.
no different levels.
Mm.
So a little child can be your master.
Yes.
And there are no levels of someone who's telling you what to do. It's just all about talent and about sharing and about reciprocity and etc. etc.
Mm. Yes.
So,
So precious. So precious.
and this is so precious, and this sculpture only practices this way of being together. So it's a practice. It's just a practice of showing each other how beautiful we are, how strong we are too, how strong we are, how much power we have if we are in the now, and if we are looking to each other and see that everyone in this world is sacred, is holy,
Mm.
is here for a purpose.
Yes.
And the most important thing is to know that the role of the Judas is the most difficult one. And it's so difficult for ourselves to see this role in ourselves and
Mm.
to embrace this one. So to feel empathy, to feel connected with this role and to embrace it and to thank for this difficult role that makes people aware
Mm.
and to lift it up to the heart, because that's the only way to lift things up to the heart. And then we make these people in ourselves also free from their um, task.
Mm.
And that is now very important, that we see that um, the things are happening, that we need to embrace it with empathy, with love, with pureness. The first golden sun was connected to the European countries, as I saw that when we think about Europe, we think about the European Union, but that is organized, created after the Second World War.
Mm.
That's an economic uh, connection. But actually, we have the European continent, and that is far more bigger. That is with Russia, with parts of Kazakhstan,
Yes,
parts
where
of
I'm from.
Azerbaijan. You're from Kazakhstan. So
And who
when I
knows that? I mean, the most people don't know that Kazakhstan is part of the European continent. Who would ever think that?
Kazakhstan is important because it's part of European and it's part of Asia.
Asia.
So it has these two parts, like Russia, like many of these countries. And so to become aware of that, so
Mm.
no one in Europe, no one of the people wants war. No one wants war. Everyone wants to continue their lives with their shops and the things and the economics and the things. No one wants war. So the people who live in Europe, they want to know each other. And this
Mm.
first golden sun sculpture travels through European countries. So that's where we met in Siberia, because we did a golden sun ceremony at the Anastasia village of Ahamkara. with the
Where
young people
I
there.
unfortunately was not there, but I joined to a later point.
You joined at a later point where we did a small one with this one. I just put it for my face. And during that ceremony, we mentioned all the names of the European state countries. And you know what happens? It's like a big family constellation. The moment you say Belgium, you are in Belgium. The moment you say Kazakhstan, you are in Kazakhstan. And you don't have to be there. You don't have to be a Kazakhstani or whatever. It just happens. And
Yes.
what happened to all the people doing the ceremony, even the young people, that they started to become proud of this fantastic continent, Europe, that has such a big diversity, that if we can practice here in this continent how to give each other a hand in this enormous diversity, then we can practice it, then it will flow over the whole world, you know. So very naive, I started this artwork, but actually it works. It works. And the only thing that we need is that someone invites me from the country and they arrange when it's very good weather, they can do it outside, but the gold is very precious and the wood too. So mostly we arrange a place where we can do this ceremony, sometimes in a church, sometimes in a sport, in a gym room or whatever. That is not so important. The important is that we do it with all this, just the people from Europe. And then the, we have 51 state countries. So puzzle piece 52 is connected to all the 7 continents. How fantastic. So what happened on a certain time, I felt that I needed to embroider a new cloth. We have 3 cloths. We have a red one with a very heavy golden sun, which was too expensive to travel with because we do not have sponsors. We all do it just carried by the people. So we need low budget things. And I found out I need to make a new golden sun, which is lightweight golden sun that can be put in 2 suitcases. And so with that golden sun, I traveled to the faraway countries like Russia, for example, and Greece. But then I found the idea fell downstairs and I saw the cloth embroidered in the colors of the rainbow people that we all are. We
Yes.
all are the rainbow.
So
We do
important
not,
message. Yeah.
yeah,
Especially now. Yes. So
we do
important.
not accept, yeah, we do not accept anymore that people, because of their color or whatever, are rejected or lower or whatever. It does not exist anymore. It does not exist anymore. And that is, we are the colored people. We are one big earth nation.
Like
And
the rainbow
oh,
encompasses all colors, the earth encompasses all different threads and colors. Yes. Yeah.
all different threads, and they are all one. They're all one from the same source.
Yes.
So how fantastic is that? And to to um, to experience this, we embroidered with ladies and men and women. We embroidered this new cloth, and we already had the first ceremony last February, just before the Corona crisis in Cape Town. School from the first township school in Cape Town, and a fantastic school where we did it with 100 or 200 children. It was incredible. It was incredible. It was
Yeah, it sounds
fantastic.
already incredible. Do you
No,
have
it was.
pictures?
Yes, but not here. But they can find it on Facebook. I do
We
not
can
have them
connect
here.
it. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
connect it after the interview so people can
yeah,
also look at the pictures.
yeah. But on Facebook, you will find all the pictures and all the travels, and of course, now we had a travel to Georgia, Georgia.
Georgia, Georgia. Hmm.
Yes, but it's cancelled because of Corona. But next year it will happen. This project has all the time it needs because it's not a tradition, it's not a religion, it's only connection. It
Hmm.
it's there when we do it and it's gone when it's finished. It's just carried in the heart of the people.
Yes.
And every ceremony has his own color, has his own energy. Because when you do it with hundreds of young people in the age of 13, between 16, wow, that is this energy of young people. Then at the end, you don't give hands. No, you sing the song of the school and etc. So every ceremony is different.
Hmm.
When 1 year ago, you know her, Charlotte from Austria,
Hmm.
she invited me to come to Austria, and she made a connection with a very special Franciscaner community, and they made from their own tradition, they made a connection to all the big traditions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Baha'i, Christianity, etc., etc., etc.
Wow.
And they
Wow.
had this, and you see pictures on Facebook too. They had these flags, and they just made a monument to all these old traditions. And you know that the golden sun was born out of the ceremony of the 12 world religions that we did. I made a big artwork of 9 meters with 12 painted cloth from the symbols of the 12 world religions. And on the cloth were 12 representatives doing their prayers, their things for the audience who could make a connection with that.
Oh, wow.
And the last one we did at Erfurt, at the top where the monastery is, organized by the Inca tradition from Germany, Hans Martin Beck. And it was amazing. We were giving each other a hand to just melt all these traditions. And we were as big as a soccer field. It was amazing. And when I came back and my students asked, what was the most important thing that you felt, that you heard? And I said, the moment an old Andes Paco Indian, and not Indian, sorry, an old Paco teacher, a master of the Andean tradition, the Inca tradition, the moment he said, this looks exactly like the Incas did at the time of their great empire. Every year, 52 represents came to the Temple of the Sun in Cusco,
Aha.
and they took all the heavy energies from all of the countries, all the 52 state countries. They took it through the seikes, through the energy lines to that temple. And by celebrating and respecting each other's different traditions, they cleaned all the heavy energy. Because in the Inca tradition, you do not have good or bad. You have heavy energy and light energy.
Mm.
So they don't play. They're just connected in the heart. They don't play like we do in the mind, like you're good and I'm bad, or I'm good and you're no. It's just light, heavy energy. But
Mm.
if you have too much heavy energy, it will make you sick. You must let it go. So every year they came together, they transformed the heavy energy into light energy and gave it away to the countries, this light energy, with great respect for the differences in their traditions, in their religions. And the moment I said that, I slapped with my hand on the table. And this is what Europe needs. This is what the world needs. That we practice how to
Mm.
clean our heavy energy.
And how
And
important now in those times, isn't it?
yes,
We
yes,
started earlier our conversation, like, for example, I also drew this card today from the mystical shaman oracle card. And since there are no coincidences, this is what we're talking about. What is also happening in the world is from the lower world, is those shadows which are coming up to the surface to be healed. So it's not that they are bad.
no,
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 it's all just coming up and to be embraced like a loving mother would embrace her children, because we're all part of one big family. And or like in a tree, it's like the roots are not worse than the branches. It's all one part, and it's just like going down to the roots into the dark where they are and look what might be want to be healed.
yeah.
Yes.
So during the ceremony of the rainbow cloth, with the rainbow cloth, we use, of course, not the names of the countries in Europe. We use the words that activate the quality of the heart, like reciprocity or pureness,
Mm,
or what do I have, integrity, or that kind of words. And we make this awake in our body.
mm,
You know, it's so easy to blame one person or political leaders or whatever, to say, ah, it's you. No, we need to discover that political person in ourselves to heal it there,
yes.
because so inside, so outside.
Yes.
And that is the most difficult thing. It's so easy to, I sometimes I see it by myself. And no, Frau, no. It's reflecting my outside world is reflecting inside.
Mm,
And this is the difficult thing, that when all when the underworld opens itself and all these things coming up, then we need to stay calm. And we need to have the practice that what happens outside happens inside. And inside myself, I can heal it.
mm,
My America inside, that's where I can heal it. You
mm,
know? And then something happens. When all the people are trying to do this, then something happens. So we have this power, this connective power in ourselves. We, as little universes in ourselves, can transform it in ourselves, and then the outer world changes.
mm.
And this
And the
the
heart can
golden
take it
constant.
all, isn't it?
You know, it's so interesting that our hands are in the level of our heart. Eh? Our lungs are in the level of the heart. So the first thing you do when you get born, you need to breathe.
Mm,
So outside comes inside. And what is so nice with your hands, that we can transform the outside with our inside. How do we do things?
mm,
How do we do? Do we do it with connection? Then you see different things. If we do it with our head disconnected, or with our will disconnected, then we can be very uh, then we can destroy many things. But also that's the lesson. And I think now we have the opportunity in this world with all what we know to have this power to go inside and not to stay outside, because outside is too big. You can't change it. You can change inside your America, your Corona, your whatever it is.
Yes.
And
Perfect.
that is what we practice with the golden sun, is that if we all stand in our I am, which is our holy birthright, then the I can can go back in his birth ground, and that is the am, the being.
Mm.
And then you feel peace because you are peace. Yeah. It's quite challenging, because you need to have faith that to let go the structures you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. And
That is the difficult thing.
but it's just only trust, because it's the unknown,
Yeah.
resting in the unknown, which is the weird in my book, my in my experience of the knowns, who also like teaching me or weave through me, like there's also this weird, or the orlog. The weird is the ever changing fates, like through our connection with our roots, with our own essence. There's it at the well of wisdom Utbrunnen by the World Tree Yggdrasil, and I water the tree every day, which for me means like ourselves connecting with our true essence. This is the root of our essence. And then there's a never endless well which they water the world tree, and we are like the trees. If we water ourselves from the essence, then we always stay alive and
Yeah.
new and fresh, and
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And
the
it's,
difficult thing is that we are so busy with the knowing, and busy with that. Oh yeah, I want to do this course because I'm not ready yet. I'm not good enough yet. I do not know enough. But actually, if you are in the now, you are connected with everything, and you know the knowing is not the knowing in the old way is not part of this. Then you know with a big K, then you know on another level, because then you're connected to everything. And the moment you focus your connection to something, then the knowledge comes to you. So we need to trust on that. It's another kind of knowing, and it's a knowing that is much wider and much more in a wholeness than the knowing we have now. That the knowing we have now, not in everything, but the knowing we have now is separating the other things, you know? It's connected to the polarities. And the knowing where we are asked to go in, it's connected to the earth and the universe, and mostly to our own body. So our body is incredible intelligent,
mm,
incredible intelligent. When we give the code that we are whole, in a whole, and connected to the source, what you said, to the the the, the source of water, and we give this code, and we are really completely like, this is it, then we get healed instantly.
mm,
But we are not we wish for this, but we are not relying on it. We don't trust it. And
mm,
that is where we are going through now. And the gate is going more narrow and narrow. And it's not to play with us, but it's just to, there's just one place to go through, and that's through the eye of the needle. Complete trust that you become so in the in the being, that you can go through the eye of the needle. Do you understand? So we need to let go of all our thinking, of all our traditions, of all, and that is quite difficult.
Letting go of everything.
Letting go,
It's like
because
throwing ourselves in the abyss of the total unknown.
of the total unknown, and then you know
Well, because you
another knowing
surrender.
will come.
You have got no other choice than surrender. And I find it's a pity that a lot of times we humans just learn when we are really like at the crossroads, like when we become really ill, or where now the nature is like really showing more and more signs that it's not healthy what we do, that we not earlier can just connect with our essence and live from the heart. But a lot of times pain, hardship makes us so low that we just can't surrender, and then all of a sudden we feel this divine flowing through us, which is
The
accessible to us in every moment.
the ego is so strong, and if we are in that way of looking, then we don't see that the world has pain. We don't just see it. The moment we see it, the healing is already appearing. So what we see now is already healing, because we see what we do to the world. Yes? And this is already healing. Many years, 50 years back, we started already with abusing the world. We abused the world for many years, but now we see it, and that's the first part of the healing. So we are in this healing process, and
absolutely,
that is not always a funny process, but it's necessary. And I think just go for it. Just try to let this ego transform, let them die, and then the wholeness of our being can grow, can flourish, can shine. Yeah. Yes. And the sculpture is interesting. It helps me in during my process. I'm now nearly finished with the autobiography of my life and the project of the Golden Sun. And I see that the sun is connected to awareness. And I feel that the old sun cults, the old sun cults we are in the last part. And we are in the part that there are no hidden agendas anymore. It's all open. With social media, it's all open. And we don't know if the information we get is right or is it wrong or whatever. So it's a big mess. And this mess makes us deeper in ourselves.
We
What
can
do
only have
I
our
feel?
own compass to
What do I
yeah.
feel? Yes. We only have our own compass. And so this whole thing puts us inside and puts us at the I am. Makes connection with our inner seed, our authentic seed, and to feed that one, to give that one, that authentic essence in ourselves, um, the golden light. Yeah. So,
when do you think the book will be available to read?
I first need to find an editor, but everything will happen on time. But it will come. I think maybe December for Christmas under the Christmas tree, something like that. Yeah. But
Sounds
in
good.
the meantime, it's good to do the ceremony, just to practice these words of love and lucid and merciful and modesty, just to practice that. and to
And
feel this vibration of these words.
and you plan to do this ceremony again during the summer solstice, don't you?
Ah,
And because
yes,
of the
thank you.
coronavirus, obviously there are restrictions. So I wanted to know how people can do it from whenever they are.
Yeah. So
And
I
just to
had
let you know,
organized.
I've just seen the bus, so my son will come any a minute. So
Yeah,
just to let you
yeah,
know and the viewers that I will pop out just very briefly to let him in, and then we can continue. Just that you
yeah.
know.
But what we will do, we wanted. I organized an international meeting here in the Eifel with all the organizers of the Golden Sun in Europe and in the world. But because of the coronavirus, it was not possible.
Mm.
And actually, it has something nice too, because now what we do, my husband and I, Evert and I, we will perform the ceremony on the 21 of June at 12 o'clock. So
At night or
then,
in the midday.
no, in the midday, because then the sun is on its biggest power, and after 12 it starts to diminish.
Mm.
And then we put the golden sun of conscious awareness, of the
Mm.
I am. Yes? And we put it as man and wife. And then when we finish to put all these puzzle pieces with the 52 words that I can put on Facebook, so all the people in the world can join at that time. So look, 12 o'clock in German time. So then you have to figure out what time it will be in your country. When the moment we finished, I invite my daughter and my son to make the four. As four is a holy couple. We have four parts in our heart. We have four directions. We have the four elements. So I
Just a
invite,
second. I just heard the
yeah,
doorbell. Just a second.
yeah,
Sorry. So sorry about that, but I'm back.
it's okay, no problem.
He is also okay with that. So
Yeah, so fine. So to repeat that, on the 21 of June at 12 o'clock, we start with the puzzle pieces. And every puzzle piece is connected with a word like acceptance or amazement or appreciation or courage, embrace, etc. All kinds of words that I put on Facebook, and you can join.
mm.
And so first we do it together as man and female. We do this together. And then I invite my son and my daughter, or my daughter and my son, to make this melting of all these words to one column of light, and we just make it all over the world and to come back in a torus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow.
And why this time? I actually, the solstice is the moment, the summer solstice is the moment that the sun has its biggest power, and the moment when it's after 12 o'clock,
Mm.
then the energy, the power of the sun is getting less and less and less. So that's why we start at that moment the golden sun in our heart.
Mm.
Yes?
So it's not even necessary that everybody takes part or watches anything. Is it
No.
enough then if we connect from this
Yes.
essence, like wherever we are at midday, where the sun is the strongest, on 21st of June, which is the summer solstice? And the way I understand it, as long as we find our words for ourselves, which has got the highest vibration, there is no right or wrong. It's just connecting with our heart, with this highest power of the sun, and speak those words which connect us
Perfect.
instantly in the now, with the highest vibration. And yeah, I can feel how much power that has got instantly,
Yes.
if as many people as
Perfect.
possible do that at this moment of time.
Yes, it's fantastic. It normally the whole ceremony takes a little hour, but you know when we go to this being, this time we are living in doesn't exist anymore.
Mm.
So even in this time, you're just connected for 1 minute. It's good. You know, uh, there are no rules. There
Mm.
are no, you can just make a connection, and maybe you use the words you find on Facebook or you find on the website, or maybe you use your own words, or maybe you just go into a meditation. It's
Mm.
all okay. Yeah.
Powerful. Powerful. And it feels also powerful that you do it first with your husband, because it feels like it has got to do with the healing of the male and the feminine, doesn't it? On the
Yes,
earth.
yes. So we could talk hours about this, but the in my life I feel that all the time I'm healing my outer women. So the body I have, I'm female, so I'm healing this with the women I met, you and my daughter and my mother, and I heal my inner man. And the moment it comes to a balance, it comes to a nice cooperation, then we are together, my man and I. We are like a holy, um, a holy couple.
Mm,
And I assume that my husband is doing the same process on his way,
mm,
and he did, and he's doing it. It's a process that never stops.
mm.
And also in me it never stops, and I
Yes.
have my son and my daughter to to help me with this, and all the other people around me. So during this ceremony we are actually with the four of us:
Mm,
my inner man, my female Frouk, and he with his inner female and his outer Evert. So in this holy situation, which is
mm,
always holy, we are performing this ceremony. Yes.
mm. And also the inner children, the inner feminine and inner masculine. So it's
Masculine.
all encompassed in this moment. And I think this is so special, because a lot of times, of course, it's like the oneness in all different forms, but it's all at the same time. In the moment we are in the dual worlds, like our bodies of course, in the physical realm, we still have got these polarities, the masculine and the feminine. But at the same time, experiencing that from the oneness, I think it's so powerful. And I think, inclusive myself, it's often confusing if we try to make sense from the mind, like we are bodies and we have got those broken parts, and we have got this different, like men, masculine and feminine, and also the inner children. It's sometimes when we try to do it from the head, which I know I prone to do that, and I'm sure other people too, it's very difficult for the healing, for the flow to happen, because then we are separated. We think like, oh no, but I have got those separated parts, masculine and feminine, and then I get stuck in this like head. Whereas from this in the now, it's like, for me, it always helps to live like a tree. The tree has got roots, trunk, and branches. And all those different dimensions are always there instantly.
Yeah.
And if
So
we
that's
just
why
consciously bring them in, put the awareness on it, yes, in the physical body, I have got masculine, I have got feminine, I've also got the inner children within me. But if I put my awareness from the now there, then the unity consciousness can just heal it all in an instant, all together.
Yeah. And the important thing is that in the now is you're doing the things in the now. So you're doing it and you're aware of what you're doing. You're seeing what you're doing. You're seeing all the weavings, all the connections. So this is where, if you do in the now, the will and the knowing become sacred, because they are supporting the connection. And this is so fantastic when I feel, when you're cooking or when you're whatever you're doing, when you're doing it in this way, it's fine. And then it's respectful, also respectful for another person who is not doing it in this way. Then it's this energy that you create when you work in this way, when you live in this way, it transforms things and makes polarities fantastic, because then they don't exist anymore. You know, it's just part of our powers.
And I see it always just part of the different threads, all different, like all unique, but still coming from the same source.
Yes. And actually, when you look through the things, they are not different. They are not different. Yeah. So this is fantastic. So I hope everyone would like to join all over the world.
Yes.
And if the coronavirus is gone, yes, we are able to travel again. So America will wait for the golden sun to do their North America, South America, Asia, but and also all the countries in Europe.
Anybody is invited who feels the call. We talked already before, like in 2022 in Kazakhstan, maybe. I feel that's that
Why not?
possibility.
And the beautiful thing is that we are not working with money, but money is not bad. You need it to make things happen. And so the moment I organize a trip with the organizer in this country, for example you, then we can invite people to join, and together we pay the costs. So the people who are in the country, they don't need to pay for it. That is the most important thing. Besides, when you have an organization and you have enough, then you can pay for things. But if you are um, if you don't have money, like many countries, they do not have so much money for this. The people do not have so much money. So then we organize a pilgrimage, and then the cost will be covered in that way. So there are many, many ways to find in this fantastic creative power to find ways to make it happen.
Mm.
So if people are inspired by this interview or by seeing the pictures on Facebook, they can contact me, and we can make an appointment. Now we have still a little Corona time, but it's going to transform slowly,
Mm.
open slowly. Yeah.
So what's the best way to reach you? You mentioned Facebook, or is there any
You
other
can you
way?
can you can go to Facebook, but you can also go to the website www.thegoldensun.au, thegoldensun.au, and there
Mm.
you will find my email address. You can phone me, you can send me an email, and
Thank you. Beautiful.
thank you, Erika. Thank you. It was nice to talk with you, to be with you, and yes,
Same here. Thank you very much,
it's
Blagadaru.
always nice to
Many
see you.
blessings.
Thank you. Many blessings to you too. Yes, and love.